Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syifa Shafira and let me presenting my oral presentation about entomology index and vector spread of dengue hemorrhagic fever based on container categories in CIPAGERAN. There are our author, there is Dr. Emma and Dr. Desi, and me as a presenter. And this is our presentation content, and let me start from the background. As we know, dengue hemorrhagic fever are the infectious disease that transmit through the bite of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. The Aedes aegypti mosquito is the main factor of the spread from the dengue virus. The transmission is influenced by the environmental too. Yeah, this is a CIMAHI city as an endemic area, and CIPAGERAN is our place in our study. Emerging case in CIMAHI city have a fluctuation. Yeah, in CIMAHI district is an area with the highest case as many as 1,993. This is the risk of transmission that we can found by index entomology that compared to density factor. Yeah, there are our formula problems. We need to know what is entomological index and how is the mapping of positive housing distribution using red cap in CIPAGERAN, and what types of mosquito larvae are found in neighborhood of CIPAGERAN village, and what are the characteristics of TPA and non-TPA formula. This is our M research. They are general and specific to determine the entomological index to control and prevent the risk of dengue. Yeah, the next one is the literature review. As we know, dengue hemorrhagic fever will show us our so many manifestation of clinic. And as we know, the etiology of dengue hemorrhagic fever are a dengue virus. There are three serotypes of dengue virus, that is DEN1, DEN2, and DEN3. And the third one is the methodology of our study. There are inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria in our study. The first one, a house that has a TPA container and non-TPA. And one is approving homeowners to do research observation. And the third one, the types of Aedes aegypti larvae found in landfill containers and containers non-TPA. Exclusion criteria, the first one, the owner of the house who was visited was not in the house. And the second one is the Culex types larvae found in the container under observation. Yeah, we had a standard sample from WHO. Survey larva according to WHO is 100 house. This is our sampling method. And the fourth one is our result and discussion about our studies. Yeah, we identification of larva by single larva method. This is the larva that we found under the microscope. This method has shown us the morphological, and yeah, this is the morphological of Aedes aegypti that we found. Has the short strip one and the black one, and the larva had a phototaxis characteristic and many more. And this is the distribution of positive hosts in ROW 8 at CIPAGERAN village, and the red one is the host has a positive larva, and the green one house that we can't find the larva. Yeah, and this is the types of positive container that found the Aedes aegypti species. That from 100 houses that we observe, there are TPA container and non-TPA container. Entomology indicators in CIPAGERAN. We count it by angka bebas jentik, house index, container index, and breeding index by this rumus. Yeah, and this is the table of distribution of Aedes aegypti larva based on container characteristic. And the last one, we talk about our conclusion. The conclusion from this study, there are the entomology index that consisting of house index value were 60 and birthday index was 100 and 40 and 53%, and container index has 5 57.3%, and the larva free rate in CIPAGERAN village, especially in ROW 8, showed a percentage of 14%. And the second one is the distribution of house that made using the GIS application in CIPAGERAN village, which has a positive larva from 100 hosts that we observed. There are 60 house that positive and 40 house that negative. And the third one, the types of larvae that we observe from our study, almost of them are the Aedes aegypti. And the characteristic of the container with the most potential as a breeding ground for the larva is a container with a volume lower than 50, the well water source, and is a dark color of the container. And the types of TPA containers that have a potential to be found in larva are jars and bathtubs, while non-TPA containers are flower vase and the uses and use tires or a wheel, And the last one is our observation to 100 house. Thank you for your attention, and that's all from my presentation. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.